In this week's video, I'm bringing you up to Duluth, Minnesota. I found some really cool abandoned locations online that have a lot of history, and I wanted to share that with you. So I thought we'd check them out. And of course, it's got to be storming tonight. So I think what we're going to do is stay at the Walmart in Cloquet, and tomorrow morning we'll get up early and go in the woods and see if we can find these places. Tonight I got a little shopping to do. Hopefully it's a quiet night. Come on, Toby. This morning we're going to be exploring an old abandoned railroad tunnel. It has a ton of history tied to the mining industry. It stretches 520 feet through Ely Peak, and that's on public land. So now we just got to go find it. Let's get you hooked up. Come on. I think this is a pretty short trail. We're parked right here. We're gonna make our way through the woods and get onto the old train tracks, and then make our way back through the woods to find that peak. So I learned that this tunnel actually played a vital role in the iron ore transportation industry back in the early 1900s. Now it's just left abandoned. They keep the area maintained really well. And in a little bit, we'll be connecting up with the Superior hiking trail. Perfect morning for a walk. One of the first railways in the area, the Duluth-Mesabi Iron Range Railroad, had the most direct route from Duluth, making it a key player. However, as Duluth-Winnipeg Pacific Railway was established to connect Virginia, Minnesota to West Duluth, they faced a big challenge, and that would be Ely's Peak. Now, instead of going over the peak, they decided to go right through it. Construction of the Ely Tunnel began in 1910 and took over a year. Workers only cleared about 10 feet a day. Finally, in the fall of 1911, the first tracks were laid, and by 1912, trains were passing through it every day. Oh, we found it. Oh, this thing looks so cool. By the 1980s, the iron ore industry was changing. Traffic through the Ely Tunnel was dwindling. By the mid-90s, the railroad was abandoned altogether. Tracks were removed, turning this area into part of the Superior hiking trail. The overcast and cloudy skies make it a perfect day to be exploring this thing. You can't even see through the end of it. It's completely dark in there. This is crazy. I can't see nothing. I wish I brought my cell phone. Oh, I'm starting to see the light. That was actually kind of fun, but now we gotta walk all the way back through it. You can hear water dripping off the walls. This has gotta be just magical looking in the wintertime. One of the most underrated walks in Minnesota. This is absolutely beautiful. Can you imagine this in the fall when the leaves are changing? Wow. Well, if you're up around the Duluth area, just Google Ely Peak Tunnel. I saw on Facebook forums people were saying this place is hard to find, but it's not. You just got to Google it, and the trail is super simple. This is definitely worth checking out. Just remember to bring a flashlight if you come. That way you don't got to walk through it in the dark. You can just barely make out some of the graffiti on the walls. Some people can be absolute artists with a spray can. And sometimes people make an absolute mess out of places like these. There's got to be a trail that goes to the top of this peak. I think we should find that before we leave. It is really steep. These rocks are wet. I am going to drop this off right here. Need both hands for balance. See if we can't find the top. On a scale of 1 to stupid, this is a 10. These rocks are so slippery. I think we made it finally to the highest peak. That was not an easy walk. We're finding a different way back. Absolutely beautiful. Well, I think I'm going to put you away for a little bit. I got to find an easier route down to the bottom and hike halfway back up, get that tripod, and we got to get back into the camper. Find spot number 2. I got to stay here for a little bit though. I got you. Next up, a piece of property with history. It goes back to 1890. I skipped breakfast. I gotta get something to eat. Have you ever tried those Chomps beef sticks? They're so good. I always keep a bag at the house, one in the camper. And if you've been following along on the videos, well then you've probably seen them in the background many times. What initially caught my eye with these is 10 grams of protein per stick and 0 grams of sugar. My personal favorite is definitely the original beef flavor. I have them on every camping trip I go on. Mandy has been putting them in her son Connor's lunchbox for probably the last couple of years now. It's a good source of protein. She has a bag at work just because they're a convenient snack. If you haven't tried chomps yet, you're missing out. And if you have, I'd like to know what your favorite flavors are. Are you a jalapeno lover? Do you like the smoky barbecue? That one's Mandy's favorite. Or do you prefer the original like me? If you'd like to learn more about them or find a store where you can buy them, just check out the link in the description below or go to chomps.com. I think I'm ready to go on this hike now. You ready, Toby? So it was back in 1890 when a gentleman by the name of Guilford Hartley purchased this property, turned it into a farm. It started off as an 80-acre vegetable farm, and by 1911 it had grown to 700 acres, the largest private farm up here in the Duluth area. Hartley ended up passing away in 1922. By 1931, the farm went bankrupt. They abandoned the place, and the city took it over and turned it into a park. Well, the reason why I'm here is because that on a Facebook forum, I found out that someone had found the old location of the farmhouse. And supposedly there's a root cellar there. This thing looked huge on the internet, so I want to go check it out. They dropped the GPS coordinates for it, so I think we should be able to find it pretty easily. Now, I did see that a couple of people were out here, said they couldn't find it, but I think we'll get lucky. The city now has turned this into a nature preserve. There's trails all over. It's so nice out here. Well, it looks like we're coming up on it. We'll be exiting this trail here pretty soon. I wonder if these are the stairs leading to the property. Maybe the house was sitting up here. There's definitely a trail. There's like 5 cars in the parking lot. I don't know that they're going to come back here. Oh, what is this? Yeah, we found it. Yeah, this looks sketchy. Well, good news. I brought the flashlight. Oh, check out the hooks up on the ceiling. It's at least 15 degrees colder in here. This is probably the biggest root cellar I've ever seen, and I think that's the official word from the city, is that it's a root cellar. It's huge though. So cool. Well, this is the very back of it. I don't know if there was a door there at one time. There's like an air inlet or something up there. This whole thing is built into the ground. So cool. See if we can maybe get on top of it. The brush is so thick up here, it's hard to even tell what point of the cellar you're standing on when you get to the top. We're not going to find that air inlet. If you're in the Duluth area and you haven't seen that cellar yet, it's definitely worth checking out. If you're swinging by the Hartley Nature Preserve, definitely see if you can find it. That was really cool. There is a definite path leading to it, so anyone should be able to find it. We're at our last spot, checking out an old ghost town. We're about an hour and a half north of Duluth now, near Schroeder, Minnesota. Going to be checking out the old town of Taconite Harbor. I guess it's what you would call a mining company town. But to the families that lived here, it was a lot more than that. It was their home. It once had a fire hall, a school. There was like a public recreation area. And I think we can kind of still see some of the remnants of it. Well, this is what they called Main Street. All that remains here now is this one light. At one time, there was 12 houses on the right side of the street and 10 on the other. You'd have been having families with barbecues in the backyard, kids riding their bikes up and down the streets. The school even had their own athletic team. They were all nice homes, 3-bedroom, attached garages, basements. Nothing remains. The houses were all built in the mid-1950s for the employees of the Erie Mining Company. At one time, they were shipping out like 10 million pounds of taconite over to the East Coast out of this harbor every year. By the mid-80s, mining had pretty much shut down in the area, and the mining company let go of the houses. I guess an independent realtor came in here, bought most of the houses up, moved them to other places. This whole thing was a really ambitious project. They spent almost $300 million in 1950 bringing in the homes, building the infrastructure for the shipping yard. They had 2 islands out on Lake Superior, and they built breaks between the islands, and that's how they made the safe harbor for all the shipping barges that came in. A lot of money was spent here. I believe that they shipped more taconite pellets out of this harbor here than anywhere else in the United States. It's pretty impressive. I've watched a few documentaries on the mining industry, and in particular this town. And they interviewed a few of the residents that used to reside here. They all talk about just how happy they were back in the day. And by the looks of the pictures, it was that perfect, small American little town. If you haven't been here, I definitely suggest checking it out. I don't know how much longer it's going to stick around. The main drive or main street in town is pretty much grown over the way it is. I don't think it's going to last much longer. Come on, Toby. Good boy. Well, I hope you had fun exploring some hidden gems right here in Minnesota with Toby and me. From here, we're going to head into the Superior National Forest, maybe do some camping. You'll see that on Tuesday. Until then, be kind, be honest, and we'll see you down the road. Well, let's try and get lost, eh, Toby?